Hey, it's Squidly. Stick around and see what's in my first aid and repair kit. So a lot of people with backpacking will start off with a first aid kit like this, and this thing has got a lot of stuff in it. I might just break this open and kind of give you an idea of what's in there, but it's got way too much stuff in it. It's too big, it's too bulky, and it's too heavy. And so years of experience doing this has taught me that really you just don't need all the stuff in a big first aid kit. All you need is to pare it down to the things that you may actually need on trail for the kinds of injuries that you may encounter. So on trail, there are basically three kinds of things that will potentially happen to you that I've discovered are more common than any of the rest of it and are worth bringing something in my repair kit or first aid kit. The other kinds of things that may happen, sure, they may happen, but they're so rare and so unlikely that I don't bother bringing anything for it. Is that a mistake? I don't know. But I can tell you in nearly 30 years of doing this, they haven't happened, and I don't anticipate that they will in the future. So having said all of that, let's take a look at the things that I actually bring for first aid. Okay, so here's my repair kit. This is for gear repair and squiddly repair. And what this is, the container for it, is a Dyneema stuff sack. It was originally for tents. I cut it in half and added Velcro up to the top of it so that I could close it. All right, let's get inside and I'll show you what is in here. Okay, so the first thing that is most common or most likely to happen are cuts and scrapes. And so what I bring is I bring some of these larger bandages. I bring a handful of Band-Aids. This is, by the way, this is way too many. And I bring some triple antibiotic ointment or Neosporin. Given the fact that you can't get really, really clean, one of these would be necessary. In addition to the Band-Aids and the larger bandages, I also carry a little bit of gauze. To be honest with you, I've been carrying gauze. This is maybe like the fourth or fifth package that I've had over years and years of doing this, but I've never used it. But I just feel like it's something that might be useful, and gauze weighs next to nothing. The only thing is it's a little bit bulky. The second kind of injury on trail is blisters. Now, I don't know that I would really call that an injury, but it is definitely something you need to treat. And what I use is KT tape because where I get blisters is usually on my heel. And so I can tear one of these off. They stick to skin really well, and they only come off when you take it off. So these are really effective for blisters. And on the sticky part of it, where you would have to put that over a blister, if you've already got a blister that has started and kind of in full bloom, you can use a little bit of toilet paper to cover the blister so that this doesn't actually stick to the blistered skin. All right, the third thing that has the potential to happen on trail that would need a little bit of treatment is stomach issues. Now, I'm not usually out long enough to get Giardia and for Giardia to actually start affecting my stomach because Giardia, I think, takes like a week or so to get into your system and then become a problem for your stomach with, in particular, diarrhea. But I have been on trail before where I had an upset stomach and was either throwing up or had diarrhea on trail, and it is not pleasant. And so having some Pepto-Bismol chewables, I found that it's better to have the chewables than the ones you have to wash down with water. Just pop a couple of these, and for the most part, that cures what minor stomach issues I may have on trail. That's it for the first aid portion of this. Now let's get into the gear repair part of it. I'll also add that the first aid and the gear repair are all in the same bag. For general gear repair, I carry a little bit of tenacious tape, and I did a video where I used tenacious tape to repair a hole in a tent. And so I may link that. If you see the link, click on that. I'll show how I used it to repair the hole in the tent. But this is good for just general gear repair. So if I had a tear in my tent, a tear in my sleeping bag, and I wanted to keep the all the down from escaping, or a tear in my backpack, this stuff is really good. In fact, I used a little piece of it to keep it tightly closed. The other piece of gear repair is the Thermarest field repair kit. And you see it's got the alcohol wipe, and it's got the patch, and it has the instructions. Honestly, I could pare this down a little bit, but my experience with doing this is so limited that I feel like I really need to keep this whole kit together, just so that in the event that something happens, I've got all of it, and I'm not having to rely on my maybe fuzzy memory of having done something like this in the past. All right, the last thing that I would include with this that it is not actually in that kit is a couple of pieces that I always have with me, but I don't put them actually in that kit, like I just said. That is a bandana, which would be useful for trying to clean up a cut or a scrape, and some duct tape. I keep the duct tape wrapped around my trekking pole, so I always have it. So I would include those as being part of my repair kit, whether I'm repairing squiddly or repairing gear. Okay, that's all I have for my repair kit and my first aid kit. If there are things that you carry that are different from mine that you would say I need to be carrying, put that in the comments. Let's have a conversation. And on the way out, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.